Hi guys, and welcome to the latest in a racing TV Q&A during this prolonged period without racing. We're talking to any number of people in the racing industry, and the latest to be put under the microscope and answer your questions is Richard Hannon. Richard, first up, I know that there's been any number of technical issues getting this underway, so thank you for getting it sorted.
I'm not very good with technology, but somebody in the office is, so we sorted it out.
Didn't we just? How are you feeling about this? Sort of a mixed bag of questions up for something like this?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah,
right.
Let's get to it.
Well, let's get started. And the first one's come in from Robbie, 1989, and it's quite simply, would you rather win the English Derby or the Arc?
I don't feel very loyal there, but I think the Arc, yeah.
Yeah? I mean, I suppose you could win one in June, or not necessarily June this year, and then the Arc in October anyway.
I think it's different. Number one, you'll be remembered as a Derby winning trainer forever, but the Arc it does seem to be a mixture of the English Derby winner, Irish Derby winner, French Derby winner, a couple of Derby winners from years before.
Yeah.
Always is the most interesting, excellent race. And I just feel that Epsom Derby, when it comes up, we don't know a lot about them, which is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's still the Derby.
Next question. We'll stick to the classics as well. Horse G3. Now, this is obviously with the caveat when they'll be, but are you likely to have runners in the 1,000 guineas and the 2,000 guineas? Are you likely to have runners in each or both?
Yeah, we've got Coca Spirits for the 1,000 and Dart Lady.
Yeah.
No, you know all about them. Dart Lady won a Group 3 last year. She's done very well. Coca Spirits was a lightly raced filly who's done very well. And I think this extra time would have done her a lot of good next year.
Okay.
She's coming in her coat now, and we didn't race her till quite late on last year. And then the 2,000 will have Threat, who won the Jim Crack and the Champagne Stakes, and Mum's Tipple. Obviously, everyone knows about him. He's more famous than Seabiscuit. and a horse called Al Madhar, maybe, who won the Good Maiden at Newmarket at the July meeting last year.
Actually, this obviously leads on from it. Homer J. Simpson, not that one, obviously, has actually said, how far would Threat have won the 2,000 guineas by? The irony is, hopefully, you know, this weekend we would have had the guineas, but hopefully it will be there at some point. So I think it's more, how far is Threat going to win the guineas by? I
don't care if he wins. I must admit, I was just saying to my dad there last Saturday, I said, there's something good about, you know, the Guineas doesn't take the race, which it's not. We don't have to go through that sort of annual kick in the stones that we get quite often when you fancy a horse for the classics. But I do think he's a very good horse. He has matured mentally, which is what we wanted, and physically he's done well. And there's a queue every morning at his box to throw the tack on him and get out. You know, all the jockeys, Dobbsy, Sean, and Rossiter, and all of them. So they seem pretty keen on his chances, and he's a horse we like a lot. I'm going to work them all on Wednesday on the grass, on the straight mile at Everley, which is obviously where we took Barney and Night Thunder, etc.
I just quickly, given the fact that the Guineas is postponed, is delayed for some time, hopefully it will be only a month or so after its initial scheduled date, would that suit him as well, that extra bit of time?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think there's many horses it wouldn't suit. But it looks like they are going to have quite a hard time when they do start racing. If these races are when they are planned to be, from the schedule I've seen, it's going to be a trial, a Guineas, a St. James Palace. They're hard races, you know, 3 in a row to have them basically in a month, which is what it's going to be, more or less, 5 weeks maybe, but it's quite a lot. But, yeah, they've had a long time sitting around waiting to get going. I'm not going to moan now about the chances coming too quickly or too soon.
Absolutely right. Couple of people, actually 2 or 3 have all said the same thing. Craig Jones, Paul Milner. Plans for King of Change. What a superstar he was last year.
Yeah, so funny enough, Sean Lee was just going past my window on him.
Is he?
I'm not joking. Yeah, I picked it up the shirt. Hang on, wait. There you go. There's a few of them. That's just showing you quickly. Did you see that or not?
That is above and beyond, Richard. We don't get that.
Wow, that's what I mean. That costs extra. Now, King, that's not a great shot there, wait there. King of Change. Obviously, we were thinking about the Sandown race.
Yeah.
And that is not going to take place. So we'll go lock-in straight there. I just wish it was when it was supposed to be, because it could have been soft ground just up the road. It's ideal for him. And then it'll obviously be Queen Anne, everyone knows the Rick for him. He's a Group 1 winner now, and that's where he has to go on a sort of permanent basis now.
It was a hell of a journey, wasn't it? From last year's big prize place in the Guineas, and then what he ended up doing come October. He really.
Yeah, it was a hell of a run in the Guineas, and I can't believe I managed to get him beaten twice. First time out and second time out at Nottingham and Wolverhampton. I mean, how did you do that? Come on. And then his run, he went from, I think, 82 to 117 in the ratings after he was second in the Guineas. And we put him away after that. We decided, Royal Ascot, if we're going to keep him for a fair bit of time, as in with this year in mind, it was better to bring him back at the end of the year and prepare him for this year. This was always going to be his year. And he didn't surprise me by winning the QE2. And he did it very well. So he's got to be a massive talent to look forward to this year. I mean, the races are obvious. And then you get the typical, you can go a mile and a quarter with him, a mile and a half. A horse is doing nothing wrong over a mile. I don't know why. We've been talked into this several times. Skyland and Tornado,
yeah.
A whole lot of them. And it's not gone well. But I am going to put him in the Ark at the owner's request. So you never know. He does give himself every chance. He's a very clean-winded horse, and he's a gentleman. He's very well behaved. He doesn't pull. He's not keen. So he'll give himself every chance of getting that sort of trip. But if he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it.
Sticking with the class act, Mark Green, how is one of my favourite horses, Bilston, Brook, and Good Season?
She's great.
Season ahead.
She's going to work on Wednesday, and she gets very keen at home. So we moved her from Herrish to the Everley Yard, and we've moved her back, and now we moved her back again. And it sort of rejuvenates a lot of these older horses. And Tom Scudamore has been riding her himself every day and got her nicely settled down. We're going to work her on Wednesday on the grass as well. She might well be Lockinge bound, or the Conqueror Stakes, which I see is on the list to take place. And I don't think she gets a penalty in that. So that really ought to be her target.
Okay. Interesting one, this one from Luke Keane. Which first season stallion would you be advising people to look out for? Are there any horses that you've picked
Maymast,
first season ones?
Maymast, Territories. They're the two that stick out in my mind at the moment.
Maymast, obviously, reasons.
Yeah. But I thought Geyser found to make a good stallion last year, and not as good as I hoped, I don't think.
We'll look out for those two. Right, look, there's a consistent theme going through. Eva has mentioned the fact that you do so well with the 2-year-olds, traditionally, season by season. Robert O'Sullivan said, is there a name of a 2-year-old for the season ahead? I mean, as and when we get to see them, Richard.
She won't thank me for saying this, but Mrs. Julie Wood has a colt by Olympic Glory.
Okay, nice.
Horse that was here. And he is called Etonian. He's not going to be a 5-furlong horse, but he's a very classy horse, and a horse we've liked a lot. He's shown up pretty well. A few of the jockeys have sat on him. There's also a couple of nice acclamations. There's a couple of Maymasses.
Yeah.
Some of these aren't named yet, weirdly enough, because people haven't been in a rush. There's a nice horse called, he's by Night of Thunder, out of a mare called Dust Flicker.
Right.
I think it sounds like Thunder, he's called. He's a very nice colt. And a lovely filly by Shalar. He could be another 2-year-old stallion to look out for. Lovely filly by Shalar.
Just with Julie Wood, she's had some amazing, I'm not going to say luck, but amazing fortune with some of the horses she's had done.
Yeah, we were going through them the other day. She's had Royal Ascot winners. Yeah. She's won Dos Millions. But she deserves it. She's there every year. And it's, you really do get a feeling of job satisfaction when you train a big one for her, because you know what it means to her. I mean, she lives it, breathes it, feels it in every way, and she doesn't accept any wedding invitations, even family wedding invitations during the summer, during the season. Never, just in case.
Love it. Now, Amelia's asked, how involved is Richard Hannon Senior? How much did you learn from him? How do we answer that one?
Well, still learning from him every day. He's here every day. He's next door now. But we've always been very good. We've always worked together, and it's great like that. Some people can work like that with their father, some people can't, but we've always found it very easily done. And, he's been a huge backer of mine, and I supported him when he was at the end of his career. And he didn't need me, but you know, I was there anyway. And, you know, he's here in the same capacity as now. You know, we have people down to the yard, and I know some people that never stop talking. You know, put them in that room there with Dad, and you don't hear from them for about an hour. They don't say a word. They're just listening, and they love just sitting around and listening to the stories and the old times, the opinions.
Yeah.
You know, he says he's got to an age now he doesn't care what he says and what people think of it. And you've got to quite like that. It doesn't suit everybody, but, you know, you're going to get it straight back at you. And that's his opinion. That's the way it is. But he's still there every day, and he's still sharp as a button. And when he sees one, he's normally right, which is, I don't know, a lie, extremely irritating.
Just with that topic as well, Kate Austin, she said, obviously you learn a lot from your dad, but what have you added, perhaps from the new technology that's come about, or scientific info that's come to pass in the years since you had the license?
Well, I think in terms of adding, I don't think we do anything different with the horses. It's still a simple structure. Obviously nowadays it's all about Instagram, your websites, things like that. I don't think it's really moved on. You know, still scopes and blood tests and tracheal washes. That's all still the same. To be fair, the system that we used was working perfectly, so there really is no need to change it. Tweak it, but I haven't changed anything.
I like this next.
I haven't even changed the wage structure, because he still gets it all.
I like this next question. Liam Mackay, I think you'll think about this one.
He sounds like a wrong one, just saying.
Sure, you'll love that. If you could train for a syndicate of any 3 people in the whole wide world, who would it be?
That's quite a cool question,
isn't it?
If I have to answer straight off like that, Jeff, help me. Who? Lindsay? No, she's not there. Stacey.
Big pockets.
Can I have 5 minutes to answer? Wait,
yeah, you can. You can.
Probably. I know, I'm going to say Keira Knightley. I don't know, actually. I tell you who I do like a lot. There's a chef called James Martin, and he makes me laugh. And he puts a bit of butter in the pan every time before he cooks anything, and he stands there. Then he chops the onions. He puts that in there, and he goes. You know, it reminds you of that smell. You know, when you're standing by the side of the road waiting for your burger to be cooked. Occasionally. He makes me laugh. He looks a bit of a crack. Apart from that, I don't know, actors, musicians. I was looking forward to Rick Astley at Lingfield and Newbury this year. And I'm gutted that he's not going to be there. I was a fan of his. It says a lot about me, probably, and not a lot of it good.
I think Liam's winning with the questions so far. Back to the horses. Neil the punter, what are you doing with Beat Le Bon this year? Could he be good enough for a Queen Anne, is the question.
Yeah, I do agree with him. He has to have fast ground. Without fast ground, no point. I mean, he really is 2 stone better on fast ground. So we're going to stick to that. He, again, was going to be one for that Sandown race. The Lockinge is an option. The Queen Anne is an option. But all these entries, they stack up. They're not cheap. You start putting in things like the Sussex. He actually hasn't won a listed race yet. So I'm very happy to start there and work our way up rather than start up here and come down, which is what happens. I always thought he's a very, very good horse. The most beautiful horse to look at as well. And he was unlucky on his last run in Australia and the last run at Goodwood because they went no gallop, he pulled, and then they quickened up, and just a mess of a race. And he's the same distance behind the horse in front as when he started.
He's got a lot of ability. I like this question. Neil Green, he said, which horse have you, over time, have you had the most affection for, who might not necessarily have been one of life's winners? But
This Is Us.
Fame. Pardon me?
This Is Us.
Yeah?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolute gem. Always pulls it out of the bag. Even when I was running terribly for 3 weeks, just wheel him out. Okay, we're back. Okay, we're off that cold list. He is the biggest gentleman, and I want to build a statue of him. He's won 13 races now, and good races, a good standard, consistent. And he's never moved right behind in his life. We've looked at in every single way. He has to go to the races with a letter from the vet saying that he always moves like this. There's nothing wrong with him. And he just goes there and wins. And he's just a star. I wish I had a few more like him.
Love it. One in from Joe. Just asked about the era of Skylantern. Your father's final year with the licence. Richard Hughes' first classic. That must have just meant everything.
I rang him yesterday, Hughes. I told him he'd be nothing without me in that Skylantern. And he laughed just like you are now. That was such a great day because I always thought she was quite a good filly. And I remember going to the Moyglare 4 days before the Moyglare, and we'd supplemented her at the 5-day stage, worked her. And Richard Smith, who rode for us at the time, got off and said, he was laughing. So what are you laughing at? I said, this won't be sighted in a Moyglare. It's crazy. She didn't work well enough. I said, well, she's going because they just paid 20 grand to supplement her yesterday. Anyway, got there and she skated up 3 lengths. And quite often the best horses do that. Then she was unlucky in the Breeders' Cup behind Flotilla, who won the French Guineas. And she came back and she got beaten in the what's it called? Not the Fred Darling, the
Nell Gwyn.
The Nell Gwyn, yeah. With a £3 penalty. I don't think they have the £3 penalty nowadays. They took it out. And I remember I wanted to kick the door and I thought, I won't. Just have disappointment, not annoy, just because she didn't look good enough. I knew she was fast, but she didn't look good enough when she ran there. And then she went to the Guineas and won. Came from what I thought was an impossible position, funny enough. I watched it the other night and it was a great day because you spend so many years having good chances in classics and you never win them. And that was just another one. And Tornado was the day before. And I just thought, oh, God, can't do another day of this. So that was a fantastic day. She was a brilliant filly, something else she was.
I'm going to wrap, because you've been so generous with your time already, round it up with a few of the quick-fire ones. Favourite race course?
Newbury. Not
Goodwood. I thought Goodwood might be on there.
I like Goodwood, but I love the fact that Newbury sees so many familiar faces, so many local people. I can be there in 20 minutes. And it's a lovely, the actual race course, I think, the actual track they race on, I think, is one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Prize money could do with a bit of a shake-up, but apart from that, this is not the show for that, is it? I suppose it could do with that everywhere. What is it with racing people? Why do we always whinge? I'm not whinging, but I'm just saying.
Not at all, not at all. Let's look, final few. We went back, the very first question was the Derby or the Arc, but which race would you most like to win that you haven't yet?
Probably something. The Arc. I was second in the Sledger once.
Yeah.
I was 5th in the Derby my first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to win the Derby. I'd love to win any race. It's any race. It's who you win it for. It's what you've done with the horse. It's where it's come from. Everything has a story. Whereas a lot of people racing UK, they just see the horse and sometimes don't know the story behind it. And different folks with different strokes. You can win a small race, but it's come from nowhere. A horse that you couldn't sell, or someone's given you a chance. That's the sort of things. There's more to it than the big. They're great, but sometimes there's a story behind them.
Right, hobbies. Are there hobbies that have come about because you might have a little bit more time now? Well, you obviously.
Yes, me and my son Jack, we've been flying remote control aeroplanes.
Yeah.
5. 2 are in a tree over there, the same tree, right? The other one's fell straight into the office wall. That's got no nose, but still flies. And the other 2, we were going to buy one, like a super duper one, and it weighs 10 kilograms. I thought, if I hit somebody with that, it's probably going to kill them, and it's not ideal. So we didn't get that. We've been playing cricket in the garden, and I don't feel sorry for him anymore. I just let him have it fast. Because, Daddy, I want you to bowl fast to me. And then I do. Knock his middle stump over. He goes in and tells his mummy. I'm like, no. If we're playing boys, you don't do that. So, and we've been playing a bit of tennis too.
Right, washed up on a desert island. It says items. I'm going to say 3 items. What do you take with you?
A jet or a helicopter. I don't know, just to get off there. 3 items I take with me: toothbrush, a steak. I don't know. No. DVD. Make your own mind up what DVD it is, okay? Whatever you're thinking is wrong.
I knew it's just going to be entertaining, but I didn't think it would go down that route. Finally, dream dinner guests, who would they be? Perhaps.
Well, I want someone to pay to start with, so they've got to be loaded. They've either got to pay, look into buying a yearling, or they've got to have a lot of good chat. So, people in racing or not in racing?
I don't think it's specified.
I suppose sports. Do you know who I idolise? And I think he's just got the most fantastic temperament. Is Roger Federer.
Yeah.
The most graceful stroke. His topspin backhand, unbelievable. Like to sit down with him. He's probably a complete bore. So, yeah, I suppose I put him on the list. A couple of actors that make me laugh. Adam Sandler. Is he still about?
I think he is. Yeah.
Who's the one off Elf?
The one off.
And he did the shake and vac, and they were the drivers.
Google it. Just hold on. I can't believe I don't know it. The one actor off Elf.
Yeah.
Is.
Curly hair.
Yeah. I mean, I need absolutely shooting for this, really. 2003 Christmas classic, starring Will Ferrell. There we are.
Will Ferrell. Yeah. Will Ferrell. Anybody. I can more or less sit down with anybody and try and have a chat, a laugh.
Well, if there's entertained as we are.
I'd invite Mr. Lightfoot. That's what I did.
Cheers. Thank you.
In that lovely check shirt. Whose tablecloth have you got on today, by the way?
Unbelievable. The Q&As were not meant to come this way. They were never.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. And I can just say something else, though. I think where Rafe Beckett is concerned, I think it's really unfair what they're doing. That email was not meant for the public domain. He is trying to get us back racing, not before we should or when it's unsafe, but the BHA haven't done a lot to get us back. The NTF, not a lot. Thank God Rafe is trying his hardest. And I think, you know, he sent out an opinion to a few of us that we could either agree with or disagree with. And it was just between us. And, you know, I think it's harsh, you know, because he is a racing man through and through. And the people at the BHA, whatever people think of them, it's fine, but they are quite short term. Rafe is going to be here in 20, 30 years as a trainer. I think a lot of these people are here 6 years gone, 6 years gone. You know, he's a racing man through and through, and he does know what's best for racing, and he didn't mean to upset or cause any divide in public opinion. Of course, we don't want to get back before it's safe and before we think we should, but he is just trying to get things motivated so that things are in place when we can. That's it. I'm off my soapbox now.
Really interesting note to finish on, and hopefully we are racing soon, and these horses that we've been talking about can go and strut their stuff like they did last year, and the 2-year-olds.
That would be nice. Yeah, let's hope we can make the best of what's been a really bad start to the flat in terms of its, you know, we haven't had any, but let's hope we get racing soon, see some good horses and get people back on the track when it's safe. You know, it might just have been a break that everybody might not have needed. Nobody wanted this, but people will come back refreshed and let's get going. Races are going to be bloody hard to win, or it'd be hard to get in. Never mind win.
Absolutely. We just have to watch this space at the moment. Thank you, Richard. Best question.
You're welcome. No problem.
Best question.
Where are we going to have dinner when you invite me?
I'll take the tablecloth. Put the tablecloth back on the table.
Yeah, be careful. They might put your tagliatelle on that.
What was the best question? Just lastly.
Probably the 3 people I'd like to train for. And I can't believe I didn't come up bang, bang, bang. Not often I'm stuck with something to say, but I'm going to go and have a look at the rich list right now. Mr. Gates is one. Okay. And then we'll go from there.
Richard, you're a top man. Best of luck, and we'll see you
later. No problem. Thank you very much, guys. Welcome.